Okay, so in this video, we are going to tackle vitamin E. And vitamin E, I would argue today, on top of some B vitamins, gets a lot of research and a lot of talk about its importance, particularly as an antioxidant, which we are going to talk a lot about when it comes to vitamin E. So, what are some specifics here as far as vitamin E goes? Well, vitamin E, otherwise known as tocopherol, there's alpha tocopherol and gamma tocopherol that vary as far as their amount in our diet. We'll just stick with the blanket term tocopherol. Its DRI is there about 15 milligrams. Its major function, as we know today, as vitamin E goes, is as an antioxidant. I'm going to talk about more about that in a second. It does have other secondary roles, particularly in some cell function, the immune cells especially, some cells related to blood vessels. We'll get to that in a second. Red blood cells specifically, platelets as well, their formation and their development. So vitamin E has a role in those. Now, foods we find vitamin E in, and again, we're going to chalk one up for the plant-based people. Go vegan, go. A lot of vegetables, corns, green leafy vegetables, nuts, unsaturated fats, things like that. Now, we do occasionally see it in animal-based foods as well, but definitely higher, more plant-based foods. So that's where we'll see vitamin E. Now, when it comes to vitamin E, again, this big issue today with vitamin E is as an antioxidant. Now, vitamin C is as well, but vitamin E gets a lot of press on this. In fact, so much so, there is significant research out there, and I would say significant enough to be true, that enhanced doses of vitamin E in the diet seem to have a role in reversing or slowing down your risk of cardiovascular disease. And we really can't say that much about other vitamins and minerals. I mean, we know, for example, iron has a role in anemia. We know vitamin C has a role in scurvy, things like that. But vitamin E to actually reduce a disease, we just don't say that about vitamins very often. And so with vitamin E, we got to talk about, well, what in the world is an antioxidant and why do we care? Well, antioxidants by definition play a role in regulating reactions that have oxygen and electrons being freed from those reactions. And those reactions happen all the time in your body. Every time you form or utilize ATP, there are going to be electrons released, free radicals, as a result of those reactions. Now, what we now know is that free radicals, these free electrons, when they're not paired, they can cause damage to cells that they're around, and damage to cell membranes, and then tissues, and potentially organs in the body. So, free radicals, not good. Antioxidants like vitamin E seem to have a role in pairing with these electrons, almost in a way of buffering these, almost like pH. It doesn't work the same way, but similar idea. That is going to work to buffer these electrons, pair with them, and in that way lessen the potential risk of vitamin E, the risk of these free radicals. By the way, you use this all the time. Now, maybe you're not big on green vegetables. You're more the kill it and grill it mentality. No problem. However, you do probably use soap, I hope. If you don't, you need to. In soap, there is aloe. Aloe has, wait for it, vitamin E. If you ever get a sunburn, you use different things, aloe things, to soothe the skin. That has vitamin E, antioxidants that have a role in dealing with cell damage. So vitamin E has a big role, not just nutritionally, but also in a lot of cosmetic products that we use. So having said that, vitamin E plays a major role as an antioxidant. Now, I'm not going to make you know the structure of free radicals and understand all the chemistry there and all of that, but understand that potentially it can have a role in cell function, the cells actually surviving, and then with that, stopping DNA damage, which can potentially cause things like cancer. And there is some, though it's not totally significant, there does seem to be some attachment to free radical damage and some cancers. So vitamin E does play a major role potentially nutritionally. Having said that, in the first world today, we don't generally see a lot of deficiencies or toxicities of these. Occasionally, things like anemia can be related to vitamin E deficiency, though I'll be honest, it's rare. And typically that's going to be iron or folic acid or something else that's causing that. Toxicities also not fairly common as well. Again, in the first world, not necessarily in other parts of the world. So, like other vitamins, make sure you know what it is, its function, what foods it's in, and toxicities and deficiencies, which in this case we don't have one. And especially for vitamin E, know what antioxidants are, why are they important, what are free radicals. No, it's not a ban from the 70s. Know that. And we will talk about vitamin K in our next video.